Right. Good morning, everyone. Is it Tuesday? I think it's Tuesday.
Yes, I think it's Tuesday.
Happy Tuesdays. Ashley, associate pediatric emergency mom, and I'm here with Miss Town, who is a first grade teacher and is, more importantly to me, Jimmy's first grade teacher, and we love Miss Town. She's been great this year, and we've missed you since we've been home.
I know. I miss everybody too.
So as people start to join, if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your family and how you got to be a teacher, that would be a great start, I think.
Okay. I guess growing up, I always wanted to be a teacher. Since I was in first grade, I think. I grew up in Thibodeau, so went to St. Joseph Elementary Catholic School, and then E.D. White, and then came to LSU, and started in elementary education and went the whole way, never switched majors. I ended up staying in Baton Rouge, met my husband, George. I was a senior at LSU. And then we got married and have lived here. We married 13 years in July. And we have Emma Claire, who's standing right here, is our fourth grader. She's 10, and then Wilton is in first grade. He's 7, and then Oliver, the handful, is 3, and at the child care center. So, I guess, so I've started teaching in public school. I taught in public school for 6 years. I taught at Highland Elementary, off of University Acres, and then switched to Aloyisus, taught there for a year, and then actually Emma Claire was a baby then. So when I had Wilton, I stayed home for 2 years, and then I went back to Aloyisus in first grade, and I've been back, I think, 7 years.
Well, we are lucky to have you. Let's see, Kara Walker Fowler.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Miss Town.
Yes.
TJ Woodard says Lola says hi.
Hi, Lola.
I'm reading, for those of you who haven't joined before, I'm watching Miss Town and I on my phone because the app that we have to use doesn't give your names. So I'm following on the phone too. So Miss Town, the question that all parents have, this is a 2-part question. Number 1, does your class listen better than your own kids when trying to crisis school?
Definitely.
Okay. And then number 2, what is the trick to get them to listen? That's my question.
At school?
What do you think can make it easier for parents in this time?
Yes. I guess I always try to break it up. I mean, like doing schoolwork, you mean? Like, okay. So break it up. Don't sit for too long, especially first graders. I mean, we'll do, and I'm working with a 3-year-old too, who has to, have his turn too. So we'll do an hour and then play outside, go for a walk, and come back in, do another hour or so, and then we're done. So my 4th grader, thankfully, can do a lot on her own. So I don't have to sit with her and do everything. So it's mainly just working with Wilton and then keeping Oliver entertained at the same time. Just kind of break it up. I guess he's good about, of course, they whine much more at home than they do at school about having to do the schoolwork. Okay. Completing a worksheet is like pulling teeth. And I'm like, I know you don't do this for Miss Moore. So, yeah, just kind of, just get it done, and then we can do this. And bribery works. Whatever
it takes. Okay.
Whatever it takes, yeah.
And then a trick so if we take a break to get them to come back and focus, is there a trick to that? Or is it a bribery again?
No, we'll usually take a break, eat a snack, and then say, okay, we're going to come in, we're going to finish this, and then, we'll do something afterwards, or, just knowing that we have to get this done before we do anything else. So you can sit here and whine, and it's going to take an hour to do it, or you can do it and we can be done. And,
okay,
just kind of make your choices. Sit and I always say, I'm like, if you cry about it now, or, that it takes this much longer, if you just do it, then we're done. And you don't have to, waste all this time. So
okay, we'll try. Cecilia says hi. I don't know if you saw.
Yes. No, I can't see it. Hi, Cecilia.
Cecilia says hi. Lola says hi.
Hi, Lola.
So I always ask the boys, what's your favorite part of the day? So in your teaching day, do you have a favorite part of every day? Like a favorite thing to do during the day?
Let me think. I guess I love teaching. Reading is my favorite. So I like the morning, kind of they're still fresh, they're excited to be there. I mean, I love morning assembly when everybody's there, and it's just everybody's happy to be there, and we pray and sing, and just kind of first thing. And I love teaching reading and reading groups. I like when I get to talk to each one kind of in a small little setting and kind of see what's going on, and hear about just what they have to say.
Yeah, I have a whole new, I've always appreciated teachers, but I think all parents will say that a next level appreciation now for the patience. Like, oh my gosh, you guys are all saints. The patience, because that is not a virtue that I got or that comes easily to me. And so for you to be patient and just like for me, and I'm sure other parents will agree, seeing how far Jibby's come from the beginning of the year to now with his work has been really amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's like, even for the teachers, you forget every year how much and you forget when we start again in August, how little they are and that they're kindergartners. And every year we're like, oh my goodness, like, because you remember how they ended in May, and they're so much self-sufficient. And some of them could run the classroom if I wasn't, they know what to do and they know the schedule. And especially after Christmas is a huge jump. Even their reading, like we always say, it's like Santa Claus, sprinkles like reading dust or something over them, because after they come back from Christmas and it's like, oh, like it all clicked.
So if kids are thinking, and I know like for ours are really young, but for kids that are thinking about becoming a teacher, what do you think is good for them to do now to kind of like, if they wanted to learn or practice or just things to build for them to become a teacher?
Yeah. I remember, growing up, my favorite thing to do was to play school with younger siblings or whoever, or nobody, my imaginary stuffed animals. And so, playing school or just working with younger kids, just trying to, especially if you're going to teach elementary, just kind of seeing how their brain works and, developing that patience and understanding, where the little ones are coming from. And I babysat a ton and just read, always keep learning.
And do you have, sorry, Crystal says, good morning from the Howletts, especially Elizabeth.
Oh, sweet girl.
And you guys, and kids that are watching, y'all feel free to have your parents type in some questions for Miss Town, and I'll read them to her, and so then she can talk to you guys and answer your questions. Right now, do you have books, like if we wanted Jibby to read, I guess we were trying to do Magic Treehouse, do you have books, like a set of books or certain books that you like for this age group to read in addition to what they're doing?
Yeah, it kind of depends where they are. Because Magic Treehouse is great. It's a little on the higher end of, for some people, and even sometimes they can read it, but their comprehension. We love reading Magic Treehouse to them. I love Junie B. Jones too. For the girls, it's really funny. We started reading. Wilton's reading the Dragon Masters. He's real into like, he's always been into dragons and that kind of, Harry Potter type stuff. That I'm trying to think. Emma Claire, what did you, little girls, what are some things that you had? I'm trying to think. Okay, Emma Claire's going to go grab some books from her room because she has some ideas.
I love it.
But pretty much anything they're interested in. But I guess right now I have Boy on the brain since he's the one in first grade. Like my mind kind of goes to what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
But I even have him. I love having him read to Oliver, and he'll say, I don't know all the words. I'm like, it's okay, just read the pictures, or just that's great practice too. Because sometimes I feel like when they go to the chapter books too early, they miss those pictures sometimes that are in the picture books. So
yeah.
Oh yes, Emma Claire likes the Never Girls. That was a while back when she was a little younger in first grade, or into first grade, second grade. And so, yeah, I love reading to them, trying to build that imagination, make the pictures in your brain, but then also going back to picture books sometimes to practice that fluency and not having to struggle over some words.
Okay. Becca says, Hank Erie says, hi, Miss Town.
Hello, Hank.
Funny story, you guys. We went for a fence visit with the Eries, and Hank gave Henry one of his baseballs and signed it. Oh, Margaret was adorable.
That's cute.
Crystal wants to know, what do you miss most about the classroom? And also, how is Sandy?
Oh, Sandy is great. I'm okay. You want to go get her?
No.
Sarah, get Sandy. She's upstairs. She's upstairs in the playroom because the cage kind of stinks a little bit. I don't know. And so if you put it in any one of their rooms, I feel like it. So she's been hanging out upstairs. But I miss the kids. I went to school yesterday for a while, and it's just, I don't know. It's empty without them. So I don't know. We miss them, and just seeing their faces every day, and it's crazy. But
I feel like this has, at least for me, it's definitely made me appreciate the chaos and some days you're like, I don't have the strength to do this, but now,
oh, she brought the whole cake. What'd you take her out? Yeah, and I feel like, I don't know, I guess we've liked the not so busy, but we miss our friends. Come down.
Mario says hi to Sandy.
Oh, there's Mario in there. Let me try to open her cage. I'll grab her out. But yeah, Sandy's doing great. We actually made her, we've been playing a lot with Amazon boxes that have been coming in. And so they made her a big cage the other day and put some Legos and stuff in there. And
nice.
Let her crawl around, but she started chewing through the box. So, yeah. No.
Oh, look at her. Look how cute she is. She looks
getting bigger. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You put her down like that.
Okay, let's see. Hank was rewarded with the book The Boy Who Never Gave Up by
yes, that's a good one.
Yeah. He also says Hank is also a full-on mess. Yes, he is.
They're all a mess.
Yeah. So Sandy is at home. Look at Sandy.
Yes.
Now is Sandy also learning?
She is learning to deal with three kids who won't leave her alone. Oh, sorry.
But before it was like 25 who didn't leave her alone.
It was, but they didn't really take her out of the cage. These at home will take her out. We try to get her in front of the. But yes, she's learning to climb on some Lego blocks and deal with the chaos that is our house.
Look how cute. She's so cute. Sandy.
So she misses y'all.
Sandy.
Oh, nice.
Her little nose is going with her little nose. So what can you give for the parents your most and I don't know if the kids need to leave the room, but your most secretive tricks to getting kids to listen? You have any tricks?
I really don't raise my voice a ton, and the louder they get, the quieter I try to get, just so they have to stop and listen. Always if I say something a few times, I'll just say, are you listening? Did you just trying to self-check, did you hear what I said? Or are you choosing not to listen? Kind of thing.
Sandy's back. Easy.
So trying to think. I just always say, I asked you to do this and you did this. Was that a good choice? Kind of.
Is that a good choice or a bad choice?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, we are a zoo over here.
I know. Put her back in her cage.
Crystal says, "Thank you. All the girls miss you too."
Oh, I miss that.
Look at Louise. Okay, so probably when all the parents are at home raising their voices, which I can't speak for everyone, but it has happened here.
It happens more for me at home than at school. I should say that. This is in the classroom. At home, it's kind of like we just need our space from everybody. Everybody just take a time out.
Yeah. Okay. And then how do you feel like the I don't want to jinx us, but the weather has been so nice. So
I know. That's what I keep saying. I'm like, this has all been so bearable because the weather has been wonderful. And that's so I do feel like that's a treat because when we're off during the summer, it's so hot that you can't be outside all day. And so that's why now I feel like the parents that are just stressed about getting all the schoolwork done and, it's like just, I don't know, I feel like they just take this time. Like, I hate to, I don't know, put less emphasis on the fourth 9 weeks, but it is the fourth 9 weeks. And so I feel like the meat of what a first grade,
like you have your foundation
through, yeah. And so by this time, it's like just keep them reading, keep them practicing math. If they struggled a little bit with time or money, it's okay. Like we just introduce it in first grade. Second grade does it all over again, and they get more into it. For first grade, I would just keep reading, practice math facts, just to stay sharp on the addition and subtraction. And in the next little chapter, we're actually going to do double-digit addition. I don't want to get into like Aloyisus right now, but
so oh my god, this is insane. I have both guinea pigs right now. So talk to me about hot topic, not carrying the one.
Okay, well, and actually, so we don't do Aloyisus doesn't do Common Core.
Okay.
So like some of our textbooks, I think when they go to the upper grade, like have a little bit in it, but like we are not on that boat. So we first grade we just do double-digit addition without carrying over. So there's no carrying in first grade. It's just add the ones place, add the tens place. So I'm not sure how they address all that in second grade. Because we're not going to do that yet. But I know that we're not a Common Core school, or so we can kind of go back to the old school stuff a little bit. Okay,
so that makes sense. He had a worksheet that was double digits, and I tried, and I was like, "Oh, carry the one," and we
haven't done that yet. Yeah.
But that makes sense if they're just doing the one space and the 10 space.
Yes, and we haven't even gotten to that yet, so we'll do that after we finish up time. We'll do that. So that's why I'm like, right now, just we keep reading, keep practicing the addition facts, subtraction facts, and play outside. I'm like,
okay,
the social skills of just playing with brothers and sisters right now and helping at home. I kind of did like a little schedule, and we have like 2 chore times a day. So I'm help. Now I have time to really teach them how to do more chores around the house, which I never do because usually it's easier and faster to do it for them when you're trying to run out the door. And so now I can like hold them accountable for making their beds and unloading the dishwasher and just folding their clothes and put them away. And so I feel like now's a really good time to focus on things like that.
Right. Like lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. See, Sarah Brooks says, "Hey, Emma Claire."
Hi, Sarah. Jess's mom.
And then I was trying to think. Sorry, I did not expect to have the guinea pigs like.
I'm sorry.
No, look. I mean, I don't know if y'all can see, but like,
oh goodness,
they're both
big
here. I was gifted the guinea pigs. Any like parting wisdom for the kids or the parents? You don't want to take up any more of your time. To help us through these next few weeks.
I know. And I'm trying to do this myself, is just appreciate the slower pace and, spending time with family and trying to get, I guess, since we're home, I'm getting some, cleaning out closets and getting some house stuff done that hopefully by the summertime when we'll be able to play maybe, and all that'll be done. And just let them, I feel like I go back and forth between, I feel like the kids are kind of sad at points too, because they're missing their friends. And so go in there for a second, please. Giving them some time just to, they might watch a little extra TV one day or, play on a device for a little longer than they should, but this is not the norm for us. And so I feel like letting them have their downtime and, release in any kind of way that is good for them.
Yeah.
And just kind of, I'm trying to make a point to, just now that I have time to sit and play with them a little bit here and there, but also I think it's good. They're a little bored, and it's okay for them to be bored. Like, go find something to do.
Entertain yourself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know, I guess just to embrace the slower pace and know that this is not forever. So it's just, we got to get through it.
Becca wants to know, is IXL work super important?
Yeah. It's very good practice. It is one way that we can actually see, like, since we're not actually, we were thinking we could pick up work from the kids, but now that we can't, it's one way for us to check in and make sure that they're actually doing something a little bit. So it's good here and there. I wouldn't stay on it, 10 minutes max. Like if they're done with it, like that's a lot of, screen time for them. But don't stress out about it. Just, as long as they're reading and do a little bit of math and playing outside, life is good.
Now, I feel like on the flip of that, that's been, like we were talking about before we went live, that's been what's worked better for us.
Yes. And I feel like it's different because I feel like, sorry, I cut you off, but like the feedback we've gotten is that some of the girls like the coloring and cutting and all that, where I know having a boy, he's like doesn't want to do any of that, but he would prefer the IXL and even reading some of the stories on the Get Epic. He likes the ones where they kind of read to you, and so it's easier for me to get him to do IXL than to do the coloring, cutting, that kind of stuff. So I just whatever. I like right now. I feel like families are in totally different scenarios. Some have two parents working, some have one, some have multiple kids they're doing schoolwork with, and so our struggle, I guess, has been to like assign work that kind of meets everybody's needs but doesn't overwhelm anybody or is not too much. That's where we're trying to get just a lot of optional stuff. So I just say don't get overwhelmed with anything. If it's too much, no stress. And so it's April. It's good.
I know. And so that leads me to I don't know what the school system is going to do. I know from a medical standpoint, I don't see us going back to school this year. So if we don't go back to school this year, what do you think, or do you have any idea what the plan would be in the fall as far as like our second grade teachers? Will they do an assessment for the kids at the beginning, or have y'all talked about?
Yeah, not too much. We did talk about a little bit, which nothing is definite, but so the end of first grade, the little reading assessment we do, the DRA, we usually do it at the end of first grade, and it's just to give to the second grade teachers to give them an idea of where the kids are. But I mean, that always changes over the summer a little bit too. We just talked about that maybe the second grade teachers would do that at the beginning of second grade. Just allow a couple of days for that. And same with first, we do kindergarten. But I mean, nothing is decided.
Okay.
We kind of talked about that a little bit.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Becca says IXL leads to YouTube Kids and TikTok temptation for us.
Then don't worry about it. Whatever works for you.
Right? Survival. It's just survival.
Yes, survival. I'm like, we're just working on like life skills. We're riding bikes. We're rollerblading. The weather is gorgeous. And I feel like we don't get that all the time. So Absolutely. Well, Miss Town, thank you so much for doing this for us. I know all the Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. And we miss you.
I know. I miss all y'all too. This is, I don't know, crazy. I never thought the year would end this way, but
I know. Well, thank you. Good luck to you. I hope your children listen perfectly to you for the rest of the day and moving forward.
No, I always say, I'm like, I know you don't do this for your teachers.
That is reassuring that.
Yes. And that's what I would tell all parents. They are so much, I mean, not so, but home and school is two different scenarios behavior wise. Like they are whining and doing things for you at home that they would never do at school. So, don't stress out too much.
Okay. Good to hear. All right, Miss Town, thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Well said. Did you finish by yourself? You finished by yourself? No.